a conservative activist on a college campus. Prosecutors want cameras allowed and suggested that they could help dispel conspiracy theories and, quote, distorted narratives swirling around the case since Kirk was shot while speaking to a crowd of thousands. Bernie Bennett reporting.
And on Wall Street, the Dow had 953 points. The NASDAQ up 350. More on these stories from townhall.com.
You're not just overweight, you're in survival mode. No pill or crash diet's going to fix that. They don't address why your body is storing fat. At PhD Weight Loss, they treat unwanted weight as a symptom, a signal that your metabolism, hormones, and stress response need attention. Fix that, and the weight comes off naturally. Call PhD Weight Loss, mention Mike G, you'll get 2 weeks free, and they'll pay for your food. Call 864-644-1900, 864-644-1900, mention Mike G, or go to myphdweightloss.com.
Americans have a big healthcare problem. Over 100 million citizens carry medical debt while paying for overpriced and complicated health insurance. As Christians, we don't have to pay for a broken system. Christian Healthcare Ministries is an alternative to health insurance at half the cost. Plus, you can enroll at any time. Stand up to health insurance with a biblical solution. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. Trenton Mayor Ryan Perry says last night's vote on the annexation of 600 acres of land from St. Clair and Madison Townships is only the beginning.
We're not voting to annex anything tonight. We are voting to start the process, which will go through the county as well. And this isn't a final vote. At the end, we will vote whether to officially annex or not. But this still has a review with the county. This is the city of Trenton saying we're open to the request of the property owners to annex it.
Several people spoke out against any annexation, saying the city hasn't been transparent about plans for the property. The banks in Cincinnati has reinstated their 21-plus rules starting tonight. Only those aged 21 or over will be allowed to access the plaza between Great American Ballpark and Paycor Stadium. I'm Steve Vaughn.
If you need a Clopay garage door, go to AE Door and Window.
Save up to 15% through the end of April.
Purchase a LiftMaster garage door opener
and save up to $125 installed.
You know, people in the tri-state love backyard living, so AE Door and Window also offers awnings.
Summer Space retractable awnings are 15% off, plus big savings on entry doors and windows from Pilla and Provia. Combine your order and save another 5%.
Learn more at aeDoorsales.com.
We sell the best and service the rest. AE.
When you're behind the wheel, it's okay to rock out to your music, but it's not okay to interact with your phone screen and electronic devices while driving. In most cases, anything more than a single touch or swipe is against the law. That means no texting, no typing, no scrolling, no shopping, no browsing. If an officer sees a violation, they can pull you over. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
High school baseball, installed by AE Door and Window.
Sky, deep right field, going back to the wall, looking up, it's gone! Cam Gallis with a home run to deep right center.
Lines one back up the middle, and Fields says, thank you very much, I'll take that. Landon Fields. Fields his position very well.
Tonight, Lakota West takes on Hamilton.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins tonight at 7:05 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
From the WMOH Weather Center, we will see increasing clouds this afternoon with a high around 84. Partly cloudy tonight with a chance of thunderstorms, low 65. Showers and thunderstorms likely on Saturday with a high 75. Partly cloudy with a chance of showers Saturday night, low 39. Sunny on Sunday with a high 58. Partly cloudy Sunday night with a low 35. And sunny on Monday with your high 58.
This is Hugh Hewitt. Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
We invented a number of things as a people. Soap, deodorant as a species. We invented these things. The house, which is why I don't like camping, because we invented the house, you know. I mean, it's just like the American dream, you know. Got my garden patch, I got my dogs, and I got my own squad. It's a lot of fun. People think it's nerdy and weird, but that's my thing. Baking, crocheting, shooting, and then playing games. And I'm particularly partial to first-person shooter.
The Dana Show with Dana Lash.
Welcome back to the program. Dana Lash with you, top of this third hour. A lot of stuff to get you set up for the weekend. You know, the Strait of Iran is fully open. POTUS is, he announced, he said, Iran just announced the Strait of Iran is fully open and ready for full passage. Thank you. He figured it out. He did it. And I don't know why people are mad about this. They're upset over it. And he also, let me pull this up too, which I thought was interesting. He said that they're going to be working privately. He said the U.S. will get all, quote, nuclear dust created by our great B-2 bombers. No money will exchange hands in any way, shape, or form. This deal is in no way subject to Lebanon either, but the USA will separately work with Lebanon and deal with the he said Hezbollah. Did you see how I wrote it? I love it. Instead of Hezbollah, Hezbollah situation in an appropriate manner. Israel will not be bombing Lebanon any longer. They are prohibited from doing so by the USA. And enough is enough. Thank you, President DJT. So, I mean, he did it. He did what others.
But I'm confused.
Yes.
Because I thought Israel was controlling everything, right? I thought that Trump was just Netanyahu's puppet, right? Isn't that the narrative? That Israel just controls our government and, right? Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah, that must mean that doesn't really sound like they're being controlled.
Yeah, so Trump's saying Israel will not be bombing Lebanon any longer. Enough is enough. They're prohibited from doing so. This doesn't sound like Israel's in control of the United States at all.
No, so weird, isn't it? So odd. I mean, gosh, it's like the worst control by Israel ever. If it's not so interesting with all of this. He was asked he was talking about these protesters that are going to be executed by Iran for taking part in dissent. They are, and it's a true story. He was being asked about this. I think this was outside of the White House yesterday because if they're able to catch these protesters, they put them to death. That's the way it is. And he was asked about this. Listen to this exchange here. This is cut one.
Iran's going to execute 4 more protesters, reportedly, including the first woman protester. What do you tell Iran?
Well, tell that to the Pope. What do you say? Tell that to the Pope.
You want to patch things up with the Pope?
That Iran is going to... Did you just hear that? Iran is going to execute 4 people, including a woman?
Tell that to the Pope, he said. So here's where we are. I've told you this before. This is this Red-Green Alliance. Everybody knows what the Red-Green Alliance is, right? You have the Red Communists that are siding up with the Islamists in the shared goal to destroy the West. That is the Red-Green Alliance when you hear it mentioned. In some countries, it might mean, the socialist plus the environmental wackadoodles, but by and large, it's the communist, red, aligning with Islamist, green, looking at the Iranian color of green, because that's the color that they use for their flags and kerchiefs, all that stuff. And the shared goal is to completely destroy the West. And you cannot tell me that this isn't... I had somebody try to tell me that the Pope wasn't leftist, and it's like you can still be of your faith without defending that. There's nobody infallible except for Christ. You can still be of your faith and also say, this is leftist. It is. There was a really good piece. Let me pull this up, actually, if I can find it. There was a really good piece that was done. It was written on social media. And Jesus Enrique Rosas, who is like a body language guy, and he was talking about how the Pope met with David Axelrod last week. Literally the guy who shepherded Barack Obama's entire campaign. And he said, a man who is not Catholic, who has never met a pope before, whose entire career has been engineering political narratives for the American left. And then by pure coincidence, he writes, the Pope immediately starts lobbing shots at the Trump administration, and 3 U.S. cardinals popped up on 60 Minutes doing the same thing. All organically, I'm sure, he adds. And he says, he adds this. He goes, I'm a practicing Catholic, and I need you to understand that. He said, but in my opinion, Trump has all the right to lash out at him. Maybe you'll disagree, but in the end, Trump talks like Trump. Water is wet. He says, I'm talking about my church being run like a DNC satellite office, but with a golden throne. He writes, this is the same Vatican that watched governments padlock churches during COVID and said nothing, that let Biden take communion while funding abortion and said nothing, that fired Bishop Strickland for defending actual church doctrine, that removed Bishop Fernandez in Puerto Rico for defending religious exemptions the catechism itself supports. He says, but somehow Trump is the threat to human dignity. He adds, Pope Francis was bad. Leo has turned out to be worse. Francis at least was vague about his politics. Leo went out and hired the consulting firm. The man has ignored the slaughter of Christians across Nigeria, India, Syria, Bangladesh, Pakistan, hundreds of believers murdered, churches burned, pastors kidnapped, and his response is platitudes about dialogue. And he won't even name who's doing the killing, which, by the way, is what I told you last hour. All of the people who've sent me examples when I've asked, well, where's the criticism of this? He has not said Muslim or Islam at all. It is always, oh, well, you know, it's horrible to see what's happening to our brothers and sisters here, but he won't name it. He adds, Rosa says, the weaponization of belief is obvious. You get the Pope to pick a fight with Trump, and suddenly millions of conservative Catholics have to choose between their faith and their vote. That's the whole purpose. They want Trump to fight with the Pope, so people are forced to choose. They want it to seem, it's a false choice, but they want it to seem like that's the choice and you have to make it. Oh, well, now you've got to pick. You got to pick between your faith and POTUS. That's it. You have to pick between, and it's not even your faith and POTUS. It is your faith and your political ideology. That's what they're trying to, it's a psychological tactic to try to pry that apart. Because the hand on the rudder of the American right, and really the hand on the rudder for not just the moral trajectory for the West, but for the successes of the West, has been the Christian, the American Christian with their hand on the rudder of the moral direction. They're going after that. So they want people to think that they have to defend the Pope when criticized and choose between either doing that or their politics. It is a way of trying to psychologically usher people to the left. This is, again, all part of this red-green alliance. You know, I was watching, there was an argument with one bishop, but because there were Catholics, and I saw this because my Catholic friend was arguing with this guy. They were questioning the creation of a Muslim prayer area in the Vatican Library, and the cardinal was, or the bishop was arguing with my friend, who, again, lifelong Catholic, and she was asking, why is this happening? Why is this being included in the library? And he was like, well, it's not in the sanctuary, it's not in the church. And she's like, no, it's literally within the walls of the Vatican. I want to know why this is being included in there. She's like, as literally like, I think she said like a 5th or 6th generation Catholic. She's like, I want to know why this is. And he was so dismissive and rude to her. I was shocked. And he said, you don't understand how this works. And she's like, I've literally have been to the Vatican 1,000,000 times. And she was like, and she was listing the relics, all this stuff, some of which I don't even know about. Like, are you really trying to question the legitimacy of her objection because you're trying to have, you know, for the lack of a better way to put it, like a measuring contest between who's the bigger, I mean, what in the world? And the point stands. So, I mean, you're going to include that in what else would you include there? What if a Satanist said, I need to have, I'm using the library too, I need to have a space for my worship. Would you put that in there as well? And that was the point she made. She said, okay, say if say Satanists wanted to come in and have a space created for their religious observance. Because the objection was, well, if they're coming over here to use the library, they have to pray so many times a day. They should just do it here, when they could literally walk down the road and go to a mosque, but whatever. Odd. It's incredibly odd. And so this is, and I don't think any of this is organic. This is all part of the Red-Green Alliance. That is it. And they think that it's great. They'll get an American leftist as Pope, and it will be, they'll kick off this conflict. And that's, I'm telling you, it is, Lorraine's got a piece up about it over at Substack. And that is it. So, I mean, this is the issue that people have to be very aware of. And like I said, this Red-Green Alliance, they had the Pope that said also, he gave an interview where he was discussing how, you know, he cited Lebanon as an example of coexisting peacefully, like a peaceful coexistence between Christians and Muslims. And I'm like, wait a minute, whoa, 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 whoa. Do you not know the history of Lebanon? Do you not know that Lebanon was literally created as, what is that shop in Missouri, Kane, where they go, we're the last hope for the persecuted smoker?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but I think of that because Lebanon was created essentially as a haven for the persecuted Christians, specifically Catholics in the Middle East. 1920, French Mandate. They established Greater Lebanon for these Christians who were being persecuted. And guess what happened? Muslims they waited, they got their numbers, and then they went to war with them so they could take over the country. The Muslim colonists, the invaders. They had a civil war that lasted forever, and they outright refused to coexist with the Christians that had essentially made them a part of Lebanon. And they killed thousands of Christians, these Muslim invaders, thousands of Christians. Then they took over the country, and then Hezbollah comes in. And they have been at war ever since. So the idea that the Pope, and he's on video of doing it, the idea that the Pope decided to use this as an example of peaceful coexistence betrays the actual history of that region. There isn't peaceful coexistence. There is no peaceful coexistence. That is a lie told to you by the Red-Green Alliance that is seeking to make you subservient to Islam by forcing down your throat this absolute just bastardization of faith that they are presenting, and it's Chrislam. The idea that people would promote that without knowing the history, that's how it happened. And then the colonists took over. There has not been peace in that region since. So absolutely, when that can be questioned. And absolutely, the guy's pretty lefty. There is, and it's not just the Catholic Church, there is a war on Christians, period. But they are really trying to use this. It's no coincidence that you have the woke Reich that is promoting communist talking points in Alexander Dugin. The woke Reich, which is trying to sing the praises of Islamism, buying houses in Qatar, and talking about Putin like he's an admirable being. There are no coincidences that you have David Axelrod going to meet with a very far-left pope who was scrubbing his social media before he deleted his accounts, but the screenshots still are there. This is not a coincidence. And I think that Jesus Enrique Rosas is right. They're using it as like a DNC satellite. But it's part of this Red-Green Alliance. You have you have leftists that are trying to hijack an entire church, and they're trying to force people in defending it by acting as though, by trying to do a psychological trick on them, by making them think that their faith is under attack when it's actually the leftists that are trying to hijack it that are being criticized. They're programming these people to defend what they're doing. That is the reality of what is happening. And there are people who are being taken in by it. And this is all to destabilize the West entirely. We have more on the way as we roll towards the conclusion. Actually, we got headlines, and we got a guest coming up. Our partners over at Preborn, a great organization out there saving lives without government money. They're doing this because people like you are generous. You can help Preborn reach their goal of 1,000 life-saving ultrasounds before Mother's Day. When a mother hears her baby's heartbeat, numerous studies show that the chance that baby continue to live doubles, actually. And they don't just stop there. They work with these mothers for the first 2 years of their lives, making sure that they get off on the right foot, have a strong foundation, and that they have success. And $28 is all it costs to provide an ultrasound. That's a dinner out. But you're saving a life instead with this $28. $140 helps rescue 5 babies. And they're also the gospel leader for the pro-life movement. So in 2025, they saved over 80,000 babies and they brought 10,000 women to Christ, which is great. All gifts are tax deductible. Preborn has a 4-star charity rating, so you can give confidently. And you're seeing women come to faith. You're seeing babies be saved. Join Preborn in their mission to sponsor 1,000 life-saving ultrasounds before Mother's Day. You can visit preborn.com/Dana, or you can donate by dialing pound 250 and saying the word baby. That's preborn.com/Dana. Dial pound 250 and say the word baby. You're expected to just trust the government or some rando insurance agent to steer you right on Medicare. And that's exactly how people end up stuck in plans that don't really fit their lives. Insurance companies often push plans that pad their profits, but they don't do anything to protect your health. So that's why you need to know about Chapter. Chapter is the only advisor that compares and recommends every Medicare plan nationwide. So you actually get coverage that fits your doctors and your prescriptions and your budget. By doing things the right way, Chapter helps people save an average of $1,100 a year. And best of all, talking to Chapter is free and fast. It's under 20 minutes, and they can review your coverage, explain your options in plain English, and help you feel confident about your choices. Whether you're already on Medicare or will be soon, don't go it alone. I'm proud to recommend Chapter to you because they make Medicare simple, they make it straightforward, and focused on what's truly best for you, not the insurance companies. So take control of your Medicare. Dial pound 250 on your phone and say the words My Medicare. That's pound 250 and say the words My Medicare.
We've got a country to save.
Larry Elder.
The socialist mayor of New York has announced the first city-owned grocery store. It's going to be a store built from the ground up in East Harlem. Cost of the store, $30 million. Do you have any idea how many groceries you could buy for $30 million? Can't wait to find out how that's going to work out.
The Larry Elder Show.
Join me weekday evenings at 6 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Bienvenidos, amigos. That's how you are welcomed at the area's #1 Latin American foods supermercado y restaurante. And you don't have to speak or understand Spanish to enjoy all that El Gran Valle Verde has to offer. All of your favorite Latin American grocery needs are in stock, and delivery is available too. And if you're not in a cooking mood for groceries, El Gran Valle Verde has a full-service restaurante with all of your favorites. El Gran Valle Verde, nearby in the Hamilton Plaza Shopping Center on Dixie Highway in Hamilton. Nos vemos pronto.
Go-to pitch. Swung on a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Local business owners, get in on the baseball excitement and let your message be heard. Join the growing number of businesses supporting high school sports on 1450 The Ticket at very affordable rates. Simply contact the WMOH 1450 The Ticket sales office at 863-1111. You are listening, and so are many of your future customers. Let area baseball fans know that you support high school sports on 1450 The Ticket, and they'll support you.
This is Dana Lash. We'll be right back on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
More and more these days, it feels like sports are losing out to hype. Who dissed who? Who signed the fattest contract? Who got busted for cheating? Lost 2 is the unique capacity sports have to inspire us, to unite us. Well, great news, sports fans. Sports are still being played for the right reasons. They're still as entertaining as they are character building. You just have to know where to find it. And you only have to look as far as your local Ohio high school. You know, the place where the games are exciting, concessions are affordable, and the parking is free. Where the emphasis is on hustle and heart instead of hype. If you prefer real, honest-to-goodness sport played for all the right reasons, you'll find it at your hometown high school. High school sports. Games are being played this weekend at an Ohio high school near you. Okay, everybody. Who's in?
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Riding a motorcycle isn't just about what you ride, how you look, or your destination. It's about freedom and adventure. Once you start, it becomes a part of who you are. It gets in your blood. But a word of caution. If you dilute your blood with alcohol and get on your bike, well, you've lost it. Because that's not riding. That's just being stupid. Alcohol slows your reflexes and coordination, and police notice these things. So remember why you ride, because if you don't ride sober, you will get pulled over.
High school baseball, installed by AE Door and Window.
Sky, deep right field, going back to the wall, looking up, it's gone! Cam Gallis with a home run to deep right center.
Lines one back up the middle, and Fields says, thank you very much, I'll take that. Landon Fields. Fields is positioned very well.
Tonight, Lakota West takes on Hamilton.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins tonight at 7:05 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
From the WMOH Weather Center, this afternoon will bring us increasing clouds with a high of 84. Partly cloudy tonight with a chance of thunderstorms, low 65. Showers and thunderstorms likely Saturday with a high 75. Chance of showers early Saturday night with a low near 39. Sunny, breezy on Sunday with a high 58. Partly cloudy Sunday night with a low 35. And sunny on Monday with your high 58.
Now, back to Dana Lash on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
And now, all of the news you would probably miss. It's time for Dana's Quick Five.
So a jury found that Ticketmaster and Live Nation had an anti-competitive monopoly over big concert venues. Anybody surprised at that finding? They said that Live Nation, they host tens of thousands of concerts a year, and its Ticketmaster subsidiary, they said they had this harmful monopoly over all the big venues. The ruling is not going to immediately bring relief for concert goers who have always complained about high ticket prices, but it actually could cost Live Nation hundreds of millions and maybe even force them to sell some of their venues when the penalties are handed out later. So that's one definitely to watch. A Tennessee tourist in a hockey mask attacked a stripper at a Key West club and cut her hair. I feel like that we should say that for Florida man on Monday. Well, he's a Tennessee man in Florida, though, in a hockey mask. And apparently there's CCTV footage. Cops, of course, got involved. He's a 44-year-old, and apparently he was described as having caused issues. Slightly. She has her hair cut, but she's, okay, shaken, but good heavens. That's a very odd thing. That's a golden toilet left on a county lawn baffles the local sheriff. They said literally it was just a gold toilet. Like a standard gold toilet that was left on somebody's front lawn of an administration. It was on the lawn of an administration building. They really don't, they think it's a prank, but they have no idea where it came from. Stick with us because we're going to discuss how MAGA isn't dead and the Red Green Alliance.
I've been to the edge.
When it comes to supplements, two things matter most. They've got to work and you've got to be able to trust them. And that's where Relief Factor comes in. I've seen it help my husband who's dealt with knee pain from old sports injuries, and it can wear you down. When you find something that actually helps you, stick with it. There's a lot of folks that have been talking about and taking and authentically endorsing Factor for over a decade now, helping people get out of pain naturally because it works. The creator of Relief Factor came home from Vietnam as a wounded combat veteran and became a doctor to help people heal, and created Relief Factor as a drug-free way to help his own patients with pain. Find out how Relief Factor could help you start with the 3-week quick start for just $19.95. Just visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. When it comes to supplements, two things matter most. They've got to work and you've got to be able to trust them. Find out how Relief Factor could help you start with the 3-week quick start. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to try the quick start and see how it can help you get out of pain naturally.
1450 WMOH News, I'm Steve Vaughn. Speaking out against a proposed annexation of 600 acres of land in Trenton.
Now, as you get ready to vote on this, you should know that people are watching in Trenton, in Butler County, and beyond. If you vote yes to annex this land and then run full steam ahead with more data centers, you have proven every person watching here that you are not serving the people of Trenton.
City leaders say it was only a vote to launch the process. Big arts event this weekend in Hamilton.
Hamilton Unfolded is a citywide event run by the City of Sculpture. It's a 3D art festival celebrating the paper heritage and history of Hamilton. It's kind of like the paper industry was huge here for a long time, and to kind of celebrate the resurgence of Hamilton, all these great things going on, we kind of do a blast in the past and find ways to tie it to the future. It's a collaboration between arts, small business, and just the community. It's going to be incredible.
Tyler McCleary with the City of Sculpture. I'm Steve Vaughn.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International. It's not too late. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year for a sponsor. End their wait today. Sponsor a child with compassion. Text radio to 83393.
35 to the 40. Can he get past the kicker? There he goes down the sideline. The 20. 10-5. Touchdown. 75 yards. And the Rams have answered right back.
Join our team as we follow your team.
So here comes Edgewood. Shot from the wing. Yes! And we will have overtime.
The Firebirds now up 2-0. Getting the job done with small ball.
On your ticket to high school sports, WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Looking for a high-paying tech career? The computer software development major at Cincinnati State prepares you for real-world software jobs with hands-on training. No advanced math, no theory, just the direct job-ready skills employers need. This 2-year program offers a required co-op, letting you gain experience at tech companies. With 100% online courses, you can train on your schedule. Enroll today. Visit cincinnatistate.edu.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Chumba Casino, your online casino for plays, spins, and a chance to score. Must be 21 and over. Terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Dylan Brooks gave the reason to why he wanted to play the Warriors, Steph, Draymond, and Steve Kerr. Back in 2022, Brooks was suspended for a hard foul, and Kerr called it a dirty play. This should be good. I'm Chris Black.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
If you've got spring fever, Lowe's has the cure. During Springfest, make your landscape stand out with 3 free bags of Miracle-Gro 3/4 cubic foot garden soil when you buy 3. Plus, get up to 40% off select major appliances to keep clothes, food, and dishes fresh all season long. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
From the WMOH Weather Center, we will see increasing clouds this afternoon with a high around 84. Partly cloudy tonight with a chance of thunderstorms, low 65. Showers and thunderstorms likely on Saturday with a high 75. Partly cloudy with a chance of showers Saturday night, low 39. Sunny on Sunday with a high 58. Partly cloudy Sunday night with a low 35. And sunny on Monday with your high 58.
This is Hugh Hewitt. Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Keep your finger on the pulse with the Dana Show podcast, delivering timely news with insightful analysis whenever you want, straight to you on YouTube, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the program. We were going to have a guest, but when people don't follow through, we have to move on. So that's what we're going to be doing. We've been setting up a lot of things, including talking about this Red-Green Alliance. And I'm telling you, you are being baited into this so hardcore. And the moment I see, because I've had people try to criticize me and say, oh, you're just being a Catholic hater. Well, that's ignorant because half my family's Catholic. That is an ad hominem that seeks to discredit legitimate observations by making it seem like they come from a place of bias, which they don't. I'm literally just observing what is happening and remarking on it, which everyone else can also see. You know, it's very simple. But I think that people, especially, what I don't get is if I would want someone, if I was somehow not following or not understanding that someone was trying to undermine my faith for a political purpose, I would like to think that my brothers and sisters in the kingdom would say something. And especially if it is my particular denomination that I seek to protect, I would like to think that, you know, I would be able to call that out in order to protect the faith, right? That's the question. There is no one that can that is beyond criticism, especially when they are behaving in a manner that justifies criticism. You know, I've criticized, you know, my pastor before, my previous pastor. I've criticized everybody, doesn't matter where. And I also think that it's overly simplistic to say that everyone who isn't Catholic is Protestant. I would not describe myself as that. I'm non-denominational. I'm a Church of Christ Christian. That's it. And there are a lot of other people that are like that. It's just it just betrays, I think, a concern, and the concern should be shared by everyone who wants to protect their houses of faith from being infected and weaponized against the thing for which they are witnessing, that weaponizes them, it weaponizes their faith. And so I'm immediately suspicious of people who are overly hostile, because people who are overly hostile in response to all of that, I feel like they are overcompensating for something. That's just not a position that someone who has good faith, that's not a reaction that they should have, right? Isn't it suspicious if they're incredibly hostile when they react? But it's this red-green alliance, and part of this too dovetails in with the coalition with the right, because you've heard everybody from Marjorie Taylor Greene to all these people say that it's the MAGA is dead. MAGA, and I would not classify myself as MAGA. I've said this before. I would not say that I am MAGA. That doesn't mean that I dislike Trump or that I haven't voted for him, right? I don't even really understand what that means to be that way. Does that mean you are you're incredibly hardcore or what? I mean, everybody wants to make America great. They want to keep America great. But I'm not a joiner also. But the coalition, the people who are trying to say MAGA is dead are people who were never conservatives to begin with. And the people who knock the conservatives for making this point, they don't even understand what conservatism is. Do you realize that one of the reasons we are not at the gates of hell as a country is because of conservatism? Everyone always asks, well, what has conservatism done? I'm sorry, but if you have to ask that, then maybe you should learn a little bit more before you start criticizing. You're not qualified enough to be the teacher. You're still the student. It's true. And I think you would agree, Kane, we would have lost everything if it hadn't been for conservatives fighting tooth and nail. And unfortunately, that's where it is. It's society at large. It's the right. Now we have our coalition, which I don't even think the coalition is totally fracturing. A lot of people are trying to use everything from the border to Iran, and now this red-green alliance and this Duginism, this multipolarity stuff. All of this is an opt to try to fracture entirely the right. And they're not entirely unsuccessful. I think that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't think she was ever a conservative to begin with. And there's nothing in her behavior, and I'm just using her as an example, not to just pick on her, but there's nothing in her behavior that leads me to believe that she's a disciple. It's one thing to say that you're a Christian. It's another thing entirely to say you're a disciple. And there's nothing in her behavior, affairs and making money through insider trading, allegedly. I mean, you go in with, what, 700,000, you leave with 25 million. It's not because you're a genius at trading or the stock market. There's just the stuff there that, betrays that stated claim. And whether you admit it or not, internally you just dismiss her observations. You don't take them as seriously as you would, say, someone that doesn't have the baggage that betrays their stated faith. Just saying, nobody's perfect, but the point is to try, right? The point is to try and not mislead people. Like people like Tucker Carlson, who kind of poke around in the Bible and then try to teach on the Bible. These people need to be very, very careful about claiming the mantle of shepherd. I don't think, clearly, if they really believed in Scripture, if they really, really believed in their heart of hearts the faith that they claim, they would not be rushing to claim this mantle of shepherd while doing the stuff that they're doing. Because the expectations for those people are incredibly high. And the penalty for misleading people is brutal. And I don't know anybody that would fervently believe that, earnestly believe that, and still go off and and do the stuff that they do for content and clicks. They're just completely competing ideas. So this is a weird time for the right. Because on one hand, you get the appearance of a lot of people being led to faith. But then on the other hand, when you see the stuff that they're saying, you start questioning that journey. And you start wondering if it's not being weaponized for something else. Then you see people say that you can't be a Christian and not think that, and not share their beliefs, which are Gazan beliefs on Israel. Everything is deduced down to A or B. You're a Zionist or you're not a Zionist. You're a Catholic or a Protestant. Good grief, are we back in like the time of the Huguenots back in France? I mean, for crying out loud, this is wild. History definitely is repeating itself. But the coalition, they want you to believe that the coalition is dead, and it's not dead. But people are trying for sure. They definitely want it to be so. And this is part of the series that we've been doing on the war for the soul of the right, the battle for the soul of the right, because it is a very serious thing. And I am worried that it will start affecting midterms. That's a legitimate concern, I think, that people can have. It's a legitimate concern. But, at the same time, we live in an era where we have more access to information than we ever have before, but we also have more opportunities for misinformation and confusion, and there's so much out there at this point. It's like, what is it? Yeah, it is like identity politics. It all comes down into that. You have people that are making they're making idols of process instead of just Jesus. You have people who are making idols of a political position instead of Jesus. That's a major problem. So none of the stuff about people coming to faith or the increase in this and that means anything if they're not really coming to faith. Otherwise, you're getting snowed. They're getting snowed. What a devilish trick, too. Remember, the devil can't create anything. He can only pervert, pollute, mislead. Making people think, this is very Screw Tape Letters, making people think that they've come to faith when really they haven't. They're not really. They're going through the motions. They made process an idol. They state it, and they wear their cross necklace on TV, or they'll state it on social media. I'm telling you, the battle ends and begins with the church. It ends and begins with people of faith. And there is a huge opportunity. There's a huge op right now underway targeting that. I mean, for crying out loud, I told you, what was it, earlier this week or last week, the Spanish Prime Minister was quoting Alexander Dugan. You got to see some of this crazy stuff that Mystic Dugan has written about religion, has written about faith. This guy is not a person of faith. This guy is a Satanist. He literally was a Satanist. And I mean, I don't know how you're promoting that while also saying that you're promoting the gospel. It's all for division. It's this red-green alliance that's also working with it. There's just be aware of this. Be aware of it. I see this like the Candace Owens stuff. I hate talking about. I don't like talking about her because I just think she's cheap content. It's just debasing. There was a video where she was saying, two videos that were edited together, where she was talking about people who are like, I don't want to play this audio, where she was talking about people who looked like they were hybrid robots, and she was naming, certain tech people, and then she named Erica Kirk, and then in another clip, she was talking about how, if you stabbed these hybrid robots, they wouldn't bleed. So by her including Erica Kirk in that description, and the one where she was talking about stabbing the hybrid robots apparently was an older clip. So she's in a newer clip referring to Erica Kirk as being one of those things. Which, what does that suggest to you? I don't know. I think she's nuts, and I think that opt to try to hijack TPUSA is starting to fail. I think that's now starting to be fully realized. But Owens is a leftist. Owens was never a conservative, ever. Never a conservative, never a person of faith. You would not, someone who lives like that betrays their stated claim of faith. There is nothing in that behavior that is Christ-like. Not a thing in that behavior that is Christ-like. There's certainly a lot of stuff in that behavior that is very demonic. And I've seen it work, though. I've had people ask me about Erica Kirk. And I've looked right in people's faces, and I'm like, you need to remember your faith and remember what Christ calls you, how Christ calls you to treat widows. I have absolutely set some people straight to their face. Like, I can't believe that this is how far this stuff can reach. Look, things on social media aren't real until they are. And then the stuff like with Carlson. Everybody thinking that Israel is the issue. Everyone thinking that Iran was because of Israel. And then we had that one post that POTUS made where, good heavens. Just craziness. But, I really don't want to play 12. Do I want to play 12? It's just so cheap. I guess you can go ahead and do it. Good grief. Ugh.
She's a female. She's saying, I'm just scared, and I'm looking online, and people are saying they're just saying that they want me to die, and I'm just so overwhelmed right now, Mr. Vice President. I'm just so overwhelmed. Dab, dab, dab. No tears. I'm so overwhelmed. And he was probably like, oh my God. And my kids, I just don't want my kids to be an orphan, Mr. Vice President. I know.
She's making fun of Erica Kirk. Do you remember when Candace Owens tried to convince everybody that the French government was going to assassinate her? If you want to talk about diabolically hyperbolic, over-dramatic females. People like watching, actually, people are watching her less, but I think they rage watch. That's a real thing. To hate watch. It's a legitimate thing. But it's just wild. What a weird time for the right now. Stay focused, though. What is the ultimate goal? To win midterms. And we're going to have some troubles with the House. I think we'll keep the Senate, but the House is going to be a battle. And I'm telling you, if we lose one or both, that's it. All of the stuff that Trump has done up to this point is going to be gone. Everything. You will not have any more, if we lose the House, you will not have any more tax relief. There will not be any more financial overhauls. There will not be any cutting of spending. There will not be any reduction of waste. There's not going to be a single thing. You are going to give it all up. And if the people who are, for instance, like Iran's been used as a cudgel. If people dislike Trump's policy, get over it. You're going to allow a high-tax commie who wants boys in your girls' bathrooms to win and control Congress and control Senate and get a leg up for 28? Because that's the alternative. You go to war with the soldiers you got. We got more on the way. Our partners that help bring you the program. It's our friends at Patriot Mobile, the only Christian conservative cell phone service in the country. Every time you use your cell phone service, you are directly funding faith, family, and freedom through their conservative giving. You got unlimited data plans, mobile hotspots, international roaming, so much more. Everything that you would expect from top carriers with their prioritized premium nationwide coverage on the same or better than the big carriers. You got fast speeds and 100% U.S.-based support. They're a wireless provider, and they provide the best service, but they're also an entity that puts momentum behind the things that you vote to protect. Take a stand today. Visit patriotmobile.com/Dana or call 972-PATRIOT and use code Dana for a free month of service. It's patriotmobile.com/Dana, code Dana. Make the switch today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. All right, folks, you know I've talked about Human and their Super Beats for years. Founded out of the UT Health Science Center and built on real cardiovascular research around blood flow and nitric oxide. So heart health, healthy blood pressure, circulation, even daily energy, all of these depend on healthy blood flow. And I love that Super Beats Heart Chews use a clinically studied ingredient that's shown to be nearly 2 times more effective than just diet and exercise alone. So just 2 chews support cardiovascular health and heart healthy energy. And now there's new Super Beats Heart Chews, 0 sugar and pomegranate berry and chocolate flavors, and they taste so good you would never know that they're 0 sugar. It's bold, delicious, and they're plant-based, so it's like non-GMO, no artificial colors, no stimulants. It's just science-led heart support in a daily chew that you're going to actually look forward to taking. So do what I've done, support your heart health with the new Super Beats Heart Chews 0 sugar. Visit human.com/Dana to buy 2 and get 1 free, and find out how to get a free 30-day supply. That's human.com/Dana. This is Dana Lash. We'll be right back on WMOH 1450, The Ticket.
The news that you need, the analysis that you want.
The Hugh Hewitt Show.
Hi, it's Hugh Hewitt on the next Hugh Hewitt Show. Weekend review, of course. Matt Continetti, Ben Dominich, all the regulars, and the director of the Office of Management and Budget, Russ Vogt. Do not miss the next Hugh Hewitt Show.
He keeps his finger on the pulse in D.C.
The key to the show is news, 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 news. If it's happening, I'll tell you about it.
Hugh Hewitt.
Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450, The Ticket. Keep that dial to the right.
Don't get caught letting your furnace or air conditioner break down during temperature extremes. Your system needs to operate efficiently at all times. Butler County Mechanical Services is your dependable neighborhood heating and cooling company, offering reliable 24-hour service 7 days a week. And be sure to ask about their annual maintenance contract. That's Butler County Mechanical Services. Call them for your heating and air conditioning system tune-up or repair.
892-1444. 892-1444.
If you need a Clopay garage door, go to AE Door and Window.
Save up to 15% through the end of April.
Purchase a LiftMaster garage door opener
and save up to $125 installed.
You know, people in the tri-state love backyard living, so AE Door and Window also offers awnings.
Summer Space retractable awnings are 15% off, plus big savings on entry doors and windows from Pilla and Provia. Combine your order and save another 5%.
Learn more at aeDoorsales.com.
We sell the best and service the rest. AE.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
High school baseball. Installed by AE Door and Window.
Sky, deep right field, going back to the wall, looking up. It's gone. Cam Gallis with a home run to deep right center.
Lines one back up the middle, and Fields says, thank you very much. I'll take that. Landon Fields. Fields is positioned very well.
Tonight, Lakota West takes on Hamilton.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins tonight at 7:05 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
From the WMOH Weather Center, this afternoon will bring us increasing clouds with a high of 84. Partly cloudy tonight with a chance of thunderstorms, low 65. Showers and thunderstorms likely Saturday with a high 75. Chance of showers early Saturday night with a low near 39. Sunny, breezy on Sunday with a high 58. Partly cloudy Sunday night with a low 35. And sunny on Monday with your high 58.
Now, back to Dana Lash on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Not able to catch all 3 hours of The Dana Show? Subscribe to the full podcast and get news and laughs delivered in short, easy-to-digest episodes. Ideal for your busy lifestyle on YouTube, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast.
Welcome back. We're getting you all set up for the weekend, which it's going to rain all weekend here. Well, I'm missing, like everyone else is having these nice, bright, sunny spring days, and we're just, where's ours, Kane? Yeah, I need that in my life. I'm just, a couple of other things I wanted to, let's see, I wanted to play, this is funny. Trump was asked about the DoorDash delivery. This is hysterical. Cut 5. He was asked about the DoorDash delivery at the White House. Remember when he came out and they had McDonald's delivered? Watch this.
Earlier this week at the White House, I met a wonderful woman named Sharon Simmons, a grandmother driving DoorDash to help support her husband's cancer treatment. She's got serious cancer. She's going to be okay, I think. Sharon delivered McDonald's to the Oval Office. It was a little bit of a, to be honest, it was a little tacky. They come up with these crazy ideas like McDonald's, although that was the biggest ever on Google. They say #1 ever.
He's like, I'll admit, it was a little tacky. I don't think it was. It was fun. It was fun. Why does he think it was tacky? That's hysterical.
Well, it's like, look, we even commented on the fact that she's just walking right up to the Oval Office door and delivering McDonald's.
Yeah,
that's
like
some sort of, like, it happens in real life, which we know it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not like Secret Service is going to go, wait a minute, we see that one's a DoorDash, so that one can go right up. Right up to the Oval Office door, right up there.
No need to search him.
Yeah. Clearly it's just the McDonald's bags.
Go around that metal detector.
Yeah, go skip it. All right, today in stupidity, King.
Ooh, all right, cut 19. This is Yvette Clark. She's out of, I think it's Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken. She says she wants to flood her district for political power with illegals. Listen to this.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. We have a diaspora that can absorb a significant number of these migrants. And when I hear colleagues talk about, the doors of the inn being closed, no room in the inn, I'm saying, I need more people in my district, but just for redistricting purposes. And those members.
Well, then definitely keep saying stuff like that.
I bet Democrats are really happy that she just gave away the whole thing right there.
I'd be all right if you just kept being honest like that.
Yeah, just keep on being honest. That's we appreciate that about you. We appreciate you. Yeah, that does it for us this week, folks. I hope you have a great weekend. We will be back with you on Monday. So have a great rest of your week.
$14.50 The Ticket.
The news that you need, the analysis that you want.
The Hugh Hewitt Show.
Hi, it's Hugh Hewitt on the next Hugh Hewitt Show. Weekend review, of course. Matt Continetti, Ben Domenech, all the regulars, and the director of the Office of Management and Budget, Russ Vogt. Do not miss the next Hugh Hewitt Show.
He keeps his finger on the pulse in D.C.
The key to the show is news. If it's happening, I'll tell you about it.
Hugh Hewitt.
Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket. Keep that dial to the right.
More than 200 members of Congress are standing up for AM radio listeners. The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act will keep AM radio in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is your ticket to Miami University Sports. WMOH, Hamilton, Fairfield, Westchester, Cincinnati. 1450 The Ticket.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. President Trump and Iran's foreign minister say the Strait of Wmoh is now fully open to commercial vessels. Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi posting on X, the strait is declared completely open in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon. It was not clear whether the pause in Lebanon could lead to a lasting deal, but it could indicate that some progress was made. A group of House Republicans rejected President Trump's request to renew a controversial surveillance program without revisions to the law. White House correspondent Greg Clugston has that report.
The president wanted a clean 18-month extension of FISA, which U.S. spy agencies use to collect and analyze communications without a warrant. Several Republicans pushed for greater protections for Americans and voted down the measure. They also rejected a middle-of-the-night compromise from the House Speaker, which some GOP lawmakers said wasn't strong enough. In the end, the House approved a temporary 2-week renewal of FISA. Greg Clugston, Washington.
In consumer news, a new Ford recall affecting F-150 pickup truck. Correspondent Lisa Dwyer with the update.
Ford is recalling almost 1.4 million of its F-150 pickup trucks in the U.S. because of a gear shift issue that may lead to drivers losing control of their vehicles and increase the risk of a crash. The recall includes F-150 light trucks with a 6-speed automatic transmission that were produced between March 12, 2014 and August 18, 2017. Vehicle owners will be notified about the recall by mail and instructed to bring their vehicle to a Ford or Lincoln dealer to have their powertrain control module calibration updated at no cost. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
More on these stories from townhall.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-0141. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. Trenton City Council getting an earful from residents upset about a proposed annexation of 600 acres of farmland from St. Clair and Madison Townships.
I'm not just mad. I am livid. Livid. If I could find a stronger word to describe my anger at what this city is doing to us, I would use it. But for now, livid will have to do.
Mayor Ryan Perry says it's only the first step of a long process and not the final vote on the annexation. The Ohio State Patrol says their troopers pulled over more than 3,700 cars for distracted driving during their recent enforcement blitz. It was part of a 6-state effort in which a total of over 5,500 tickets were written. The 3-day Hamilton Unfolded Arts Festival is underway in the downtown and Main Street areas. I'm Steve Vaughn.
High school baseball, installed by AE Door and Window.
Sky, deep right field, going back to the wall, looking up, it's gone! Cam Gallis with a home run to deep right center.
Lines one back up the middle, and Fields says, thank you very much, I'll take that. Landon Fields. Fields is positioned very well.
Tonight, Lakota West takes on Hamilton.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins tonight at 7:05 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
Looking for a friendly, fun tavern? Nick and Norm's Tavern on the west side of Hamilton has a friendly and entertaining staff, great food, and a large drink selection. At Nick and Norm's Tavern, you can play pool and darts inside, or you can sit in their outdoor area to enjoy your food and drinks. Singo and bike nights with Queen of Hearts drawing are on Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, a DJ and karaoke on Fridays, and live bands on Saturdays. Stop in to Nick and Norm's Tavern on Millville Avenue at Wasserman Road on the west side of Hamilton. Nick and Norm's Tavern, a proud supporter of local youth athletics.
Police on the scene of an accident on the ramp, 71 northbound, that off-ramp to Dana, and we have 75 southbound northbound at Galbraith with an accident now, and 75 is slowing between Mitchell and Paddock, about a 10-minute trip northbound. I'm Rick Schrepp with traffic.
Sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
For tonight, increasing clouds with an overnight low down to 64. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms, high 74, wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny skies, high 60, wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Catch high school baseball tonight as Hamilton takes on Lakota West. It's high school game day presented by A.E. Dorn Window. Airtime 7:05 on 1450 The Ticket.
In a time of division and distrust, clarity matters more than ever. This is where common sense meets conviction. This is the Hugh Hewitt Show.
Good morning, glory, and evening, grace, America. Good Friday to you, and since I promised you clarity, I begin by saying we have no clarity on what's going on inside the Strait of Wmoh, but we do have a lot of posts from President Trump. A lot of news to get through today, but I begin, as I do most Fridays, with John Ellis, founder and editor-in-chief of News Items. John, your ears might have been burning today. I was with a high-tech exec. I said, 5 years ago, I got 20 subscriptions. Now I get News Items and 2 subscriptions. And that's basically what's happening everywhere with everything. Do you think that the retirement of Reed Hastings today, or the announcement that he's retiring in June, marks the end of one tech era and sort of the opening of another?
I think so. I first met Reed in New York City, and I think it was 2001, and he was just starting up Netflix and was doing a press tour. I was a columnist for Fast Company at the time, and I had dinner with him 2 years. I wrote a very flattering column about him, and I had dinner with him 2 years later. And he had a problem, which was people had the red envelopes, and they would send them back. If they lived in San Francisco, they'd send them back, and they'd get them by Friday before the next weekend. But if they lived in Amarillo, Texas, they sent them back on Monday. They wouldn't get them for like 8 or 9 days. So what to do? He had a choice to make. Should he build out more distribution channels or distribution sites, or should he just wait for the whole thing to go digital? And he asked me what I thought, and I said, I really don't know. And he said, well, I think I have to go with my customers. And so they built out distribution centers, knowing that it would all be done on the internet, in 5 or 7 years, to make their customers happy. And that kind of executive leadership, I don't think is prevalent today, I guess. Is
I know that he is an enormous Democratic donor. I was already kind of grateful for him for helping start the nudge of Joe Biden off of the good ship White House back in 2023. I think 2024. He was one of the first to nudge President Biden off the ticket. But I really appreciated the red envelopes when I had small children. That was like, rather than go to Blockbuster to get the red envelope, he was a genius, and I'm glad he went with the customers. May he enjoy his retirement. Interesting, Netflix is down 10% today when the market is about to close up 3% for the third straight week because of the news that the president's been posting on that. But hard not to note a real entrepreneur retiring at 65. Good on him. He'll go make mischief for Democrats. Let's talk about the dark side of the future, John, because I read News Items this morning, and I sent you a note saying, we got to talk about Mythos. This is creepy, scary. Tell people about it.
Well, it's the latest model of the AI model brought forth by Anthropic, which is one of the 3 or 4 major AI companies. And basically what they found is that this new model called Mythos is able to autonomously break into computer software systems in government, in infrastructure, in businesses, in financial institutions. In theory, it could disrupt the global financial system, the functioning of the U.S. government, and it was dangerous enough that Anthropic decided not to release it to the public, which it had been planning to do, and which it spent a lot of money developing the product, obviously, and instead engaged the U.S. government and leading technology and financial services company to say, look, we have this unbelievably capable AI model that could destroy your business, essentially, or destroy your governance. And so we got to work together to make sure this doesn't happen. It's a major major development, and the reason people are paying so much attention to it, I think, aside from, being able to, rob a bank, is that it's a harbinger of what's to come in the world of AI, which is that it's, the horse has left the barn, and we don't know where it's going, and we're not sure that where it's going is where we want to be.
Now, you also point out to me there is a split in people who watch AI on the U.S. side. The David Sachs-led White House, Yaya Go-Go AI team, and then the critics of Brave New World, it's going to destroy us all and eat humanity. I'm actually with Sachs on this. I don't think we can allow the People's Republic of China to get a lead here, even though they're going to develop their own mythos, aren't they?
Yes, they will. The argument that Sachs and others make is the answer to everything is China. If we don't stay ahead, China will get ahead. They'll be able to crack into our financial system, our governance, etc. So we have to press forward. Sorry, but we have to. There's no other choice. The opposite side of that is it's a major league losing political issue. People, the electorate by really large numbers doesn't trust AI, doesn't trust the companies that are producing AI, and it doesn't trust the leadership of those companies. So it's a tight spot for the administration because they want to do what David Sachs thinks they should do, but they fully understand it could cost them a lot politically in November and beyond.
I've been taking meetings with tech execs because they like to talk to broadcasters for a decade, and people from Mark Zuckerberg and Peter Thiel to the new high-tech people in D.C. and their offices. I'm always humbled by it because, it's so far removed from what you and I grew up on, but its inevitability is something to which I'm resigned. Are you?
Yeah, I'm actually of the view that we have to strike a grand bargain with China. They're going to get there. We're going to get there. It doesn't really matter who gets there first. And I think the only way to put guardrails around this is to have the two superpowers enter into a pact that says this is what's allowable, this is what's not allowable, and if you go with not allowable, you will incur the full wrath of China and the United States.
Now that had not occurred to me. Maybe they'll talk about that in Beijing in May. John, let's go to the 14 prominent people, U.S. and global, that got their favorability ratings this week. Not surprisingly, Pope Leo XIV is the most popular person. Is this among Americans? This is just Americans, right?
Americans, yes.
Yeah. So Leo gets the best. And I'm not surprised that Zelensky gets a plus 18. I am a little bit surprised that Emmanuel Macron and AOC are at 50-50. I didn't think anyone in politics could be at 50-50. I thought they all got tarnished. Are you surprised by those numbers? Bernie's different. Bernie's like your crazy uncle that everybody loves, and he can't hurt anyone. But AOC, she can hurt people.
I think the poll was taken in August of last year. Pope Leo had just been installed, if you will, and his numbers were